again, High Burner Thursday. It's July 12th, and again I hit the Upper Dungeness Trail, something I've not done before, and that is the Mount Baldy and Gray Wolf Ridge in the Olympic Mountain. Again, up the Upper Dungeness Trail. And so I hit the trail at, again, started about 4:45 this morning, out the door at 3:30. And right now it is 8:15. And what we see up here is a false summit of Mount Baldy up here. So I'm going to get above that, and then the summit of Mount Baldy, and then see if I can't get up to the top of Gray Wolf Ridge, and then pretty much be on top of the world from there with a 360-degree view. So I'll check in a bit, and we'll see where we're at. Well, I believe, I don't know if that was the false summit of Mount Baldy or not, but I believe this is Mount Baldy and then Grey Wolf Ridge, which is the goal for today. I'll explain a little bit more about the details and geography here when I can, but this is a landmark spot right here. I believe that's Baldy up there, and then I believe Grey Wolf Ridge, soon to find out. But right now I'm overlooking Squim, the Strait of Juan de Fuca, and over to BC, to Canada, and of course Mount Baker in the distance. And soon I'll be able to look into where I was recently, and that's into Royal Basin in the heart of the Olympics. So here we go. Well, I'm sitting down now. It is almost 9:25. I read about one guy's hike up here. He said he did it in 4 hours, and it's just a titch over 5 miles, so it's 10 miles round trip via Upper Dungeness Trail and Maynard Burn Trail, which cuts off just past the junction and the bridge on this side of the Royal Creek Trail. So I'm at the top, at the summit of Baldy Mountain, or Mount Baldy, and I promised some details about it. False Baldy, which I featured earlier, was 6,400 feet, elevation gain 3,200, and that's at 6 miles. It says time 6 hours. I made pretty good. Again, this is a extreme trip today, just a one-dayer. Gorgeous day, beautiful, one of the hottest days inland. So I figured I'd come up here for clarity's sake to shoot a 360-degree day today with my camera. So Mount Baldy, which I'm sitting on top of now, is 6,827 feet, elevation gain of 4,000 feet, says distance 7 miles. This is another trail that they're talking about. And then Grey Wolf Ridge, which I mentioned, and I'm going to attempt that, I believe, shortly. That is 7,218 feet, elevation gain 5,000. Again, that's from a different trailhead. The total for me is just over 10 miles, so it's about 5 miles, 0.1 up. So I'm going to stand up here, get my camera set up, and shoot a panorama and shoot the Olympics. That's primarily why I'm up here today, is to shoot right into Royal Basin and the needles, which are basically right here. So I'm going to do a panorama for you, and then I'm going to spend time up here and start shooting. I'll give you a look at Grey Wolf Ridge first of all. And by the way, that's the highest peak in Clallam County as well. So for trivia's sake. So that's Gray Wolf Ridge there. And now again looking over Sequim Valley, Sequim, Washington, the Strait of Juan de Fuca, and then over into Canada, San Juans, Mount Baker, of course, Puget Sound, Washington State, of course. And now for the real treat, of which I'm going to get set up and start shooting these now. From here we look right down into Royal Basin, where I was recently, and the Needles. Mount Olympus, Mount Walker, Mount Walkinshaw, and then if I can get up to Gray Wolf, I believe I can look over to the king of the Olympics, and that is Olympus. So I'm going to start shooting now. I'll catch you later. 10:10, and just shot some panoramas. Again, it's 360 degree views up here. So I did a few panoramas over there. Again, the Needles. Into Royal Basin. Mount Deception, Walker, Walkinshaw, and then a few panoramas down over Sequim, in the Sequim Valley there. And then Protection Island down there. Puget Sound there. San Juans way beyond, and of course Baker in the distance. So plenty time left. I think I'm gonna head toward Gray Wolf Ridge. Might be an hour, hour and a half, and see if I can't look down into Olympus. 5 to 11, and I need to make a correction. What I was just on was the false summit of Mount Baldy. So I stand on top of Mount Baldy proper right here. So looking back on the false summit, and that's where I was. And there's Gray Wolf right there. Royal Basin. So these are all the guardians of the Gray Wolf and the Dungeness right here. Again, San Juan, Strait of Juan de Fuca, Canada, Squim, Washington, Dungeness Spit, further north, Squim Bay, of course the Olympic Mountains. I think lastly I'll go to that ridge, see if I can look back. Correction again. Guess that was Mount Baldy back there, and what I've been on the ridge here. So I've extended the ridge to the extent I'm going to go today. So virtually I'm on the top here, with the exception of Gray Wolf right there. And then back to Royal Basin, and I can always identify it by, of course, deception and those slopes right there. Someone has conveniently made a shelter for those that would like to come and hunker down, spend the night, or make this a base for other adventures. my Mount Baldy chute. Really, it's at about 6,827 is the elevation, and then Grey Wolf is 7 something. So the guardians of the Dungeness in the Grey Wolf. Perfect day. Visibility is crystal clear. So that's about it. I've shot just about everything from west, east, everywhere, and did some focus stacking as well. I hope that those turn out pretty good. This Baker in the background is pretty sweet and looking over the strait. And just the very tip of Rainier. Maybe I'll try to show that to you in just a minute. Poking up on the horizon there, just above those peaks. So, probably a good 5-hour hike for me. Again, one guy said he did it before, spent 30 minutes up here and then made it back 2.5. So I think that's pushing it, or he's pretty extreme. So anyway, gonna take my time heading back down, and if the lighting's right, Royal Creek as usual. I like to shoot those along the way back to the parking lot. So I'll give you one last look around, and then off I go. I did some focus stacking with these peaks here. Hopefully those will turn out. And with Grey Wolf here. And along this line down here. And into the valley, the peaks, and then with the strait, the San Juans and Baker. Hopefully those will turn out as well. And just the tip of Rainier poking up right over there. false summit of Mount Baldy, and I finally determined that. Just came off of Mount Baldy there, hence the name. Pretty bare. And there's Gray Wolf right there. So, Royal Basin, Gray Wolf, Mount Baldy, Fault Summit here. I head up and then down I go. And I just did some focus stacking here and trying to get Gray Wolf and Baldy here, and attempts that they'll turn out. Moving on. I kind of lost my path coming down off the fault summit of Baldy. Trail I know goes along the tree line right there. So I'm going direct that way. That'll take some time off. It's 20 to 2, and I got off that false summit of Mount Baldy right there, the direct route instead of the trail. Saved a little time. Going down can be as brutal as coming up, and the descent on this is pretty steep, it's pretty brutal coming up, so it's hard on the knees and legs as well going down. So I'll forge on. It's all downhill from here. It's 3:45, and finally got off the trail. It is difficult ascending than it is ascending, by all means. Anyway, I was out of water. I finished what I had just after coming off the false summit there and entering into the trail. I remembered this creek though that runs through the meadow. That was a lifesaver, and filtered some water out of that. So now back, this dumps right in through the meadow to the Maynard Burn Trail, and then right down to Royal Creek and the Upper Dungeness Trail. So if lighting is good, maybe that creek will be lit up real nice. So, here we go, forging on. 4:45 exactly. It's 4:20 now. And I'm back at the junction of the Maynard Burn Trail here and the Upper Dungeness. There's Royal Creek down there. So just shy of a 12-hour scramble to Mount Baldy and Gray Wolf Ridge. So I think I'll go down and sit by the creek and filter some more fresh water and relax it a bit. It'll take another probably 45 minutes, an hour to get to the car. So I'm just going to relax until then. I'm on vacation starting next Wednesday through August 6th. So I'll be doing more. This is all a good warm-up to hopefully what's in store. I might even do Royal Basin again next Thursday because it's so phenomenal up there. So until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next go around.